Another little thing that's not little, I'm going to show you, that can make a difference of, anywhere from at least a tenth to 3/10 of a second. If you go online, and like I said, I just attended the NCAAs. I've been fortunate enough, I've been an official at the Olympics. I go to Olympic Games and World Championships, and I'm amazed. World-class athletes. They'll be running out here, whether it be the 4x1, whether it be the 200, or whether it be the 400. And they'll have the blocks right in the middle of the track. They got to lean. And, by the way, leaning, if you're running in that lane and Cody's running, you see the mistake a lot of athletes will make, guys, and so this is why you videotape your own athletes. They'll lean with their head or just their waist. Okay, they'll do the whole waist. Okay, now just do the head. They'll run like that. What I want you to do is lean from the ankle, so lean into me. Okay, that's how you should, notice still everything's in line. Everything's still in line. You're leaning this way, and he's running. So he's leaning from the ankles, not leaning from the hip or from the head. Here, he's coming out, and you got to start leaning right off the get-go. We don't want that. So what we do is we set our blocks at an angle. So we go out there. What you guys want to do, you want to take that barrel of that block, and we want to come out to about here. So right now, that block, if I ran straight, I'm coming out here. I'd be disqualified. But I want to come to here. So, and aim for my foot. Okay, now look down the barrel and see if that's pretty much where my foot is. Let's put some tape down. Again, we can't do this in the meet, but for practice, you guys come and step on the tape or mark it down. Not good. Hold on to it tight. That block's going to have to go over a ½ inch to the outside. So now what we want to do, we want to come out of those blocks. You're driving out, but you're running in a straight line, just like if you were running a 100-meter dash. So your first 4 or 5 steps are going to be in a straight line, then you'll get to here, then you lean into the turn. Much better than coming out and having to lean right off the bat. This will give you another 1 to 3/10, depending on how fast or how slow you are. One of these pedals is going to be back, and the other one's going to be up. They're not both at the same spacings. What you want to do is run. Basically, you're running here, 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 here. So you're running in a straight line for the first couple steps. On you. This won't be perfect, but that's fine. Oh, wait a minute. You can't have your hand in front of the line. Okay, here's another mistake they'll make. This hand has to be back off the line. So they're not up to the line because I'm twisting. Everything stays square. All right, go ahead. Yeah, move your blocks back a little bit. You're too tight, you're too close.
In a race, if you feel that way, should one put their hand up or?
Good question. Yeah, if you get into the thing and you're uncomfortable, right away, don't come out and then say hold up. Say hold up, then come out. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable. And by the way, another little thing, way back when I first started coaching in the early 70s, I do a lot of research. We try things, they'd work, they didn't work. But the longer you are down under secondary mark, people just run and jump into the blocks. The longer you are down there, the slower your reaction time will be. So we always tell our athletes, if there's 8 people running, you try to be like number 7 is actually getting into the blocks. You're number 6, 7, 8. You can't take too long because they can give you a warning, and if you do it again, they can kick you out. But you don't want to just run down and jump into the blocks. Again, the longer you are down there, the slower your reaction time will be. Now you still may meet the guy, you still may beat them out of the blocks because you're just faster. But you won't be as fast as you would be against yourself. So, and sometimes get down there and stay there for 20 seconds and see what it feels like if you haven't done that. Okay, but remember, this hand is going to be off the line a little bit. Okay, go on back and have him. Okay, don't run into Dom.
Okay.
On you. But the point is, they're coming out and running in a straight line, getting a little bit of a drive phase, which will help at the end of the race anyway. It'll be on you, Cody, whenever you're ready. I'm going to have you focus in on his hands when he comes back. And then also, you notice his back's nice and flat. You'll see a lot of people in blocks. They're real rounded, which means they're too close. Just move the blocks back. But notice his hands, because he's still square. Because the blocks are at an angle, he's still square. Where don't make the mistake and do it the wrong way and put your hand way up there. Okay? He's off bounce. If you were right here on the side, you would see he's crooked. So we don't want that. Again, it's a little thing that makes a difference. Okay, one of the things I mentioned to you guys, it's important that you videotape. So you can see and you can make the corrections. You know, setting the blocks at an angle, you can do it this way. You can see if his hand's back. You can see if his feet's doing it right. I had a young man by the name of Sean Crawford, but Sean ended up being, let's say he was a decent 200-meter runner and 100 meters. I inherited Sean. I got him his sophomore year. I came down, I started in August of his sophomore year, and we started fall practice. Later on, and I said, you know, I was watching him do drills and running, and I said, this kid's good. I'm thinking to myself, he's really good. He's going to be something special. And then I realized he did not run on the 4x1 for Clemson. And Clemson had a decent team. It's not like Sean shouldn't have made the team. And to make a long story short, they based it on 100 meters time. He didn't score in the conference. He didn't score a point because he didn't make the finals in the 100. He didn't run on the relay. And the reason being, when he set up his blocks, he came out, and Sean actually was this way. I wished I don't have it anymore. I had the video of this. But one time there was a major storm, everything from 2,000 and less down that I kept. And I keep lots of records. But anyway, Sean did this. He got into the blocks, like here, come out. He stepped out with his foot. And both hands went back. Everyone else was taking off. So he stepped off with his front foot. Right here, he stepped out with this foot first. Now, one of the things I want you to do when you're looking at your athletes, one of the things you want to see, if you go out too far, you push with, you're almost jumping out of your blocks. But your foot, I'm looking for shin angles. When that foot comes down, and that would be this foot here, when it comes down, I want the knee ahead of the ankle. This way I can push forward. If I'm out here like this, the only way I can go is up. So you talk about kids popping up out of blocks, they're out here too far. So get this foot out quick and get it down where I can push. So I'm looking for shin angles. Stand in front of your blocks. Now this time, so all you're going to do is lean into me. So this is what he should look like when he comes out. And again, a big split, powerful, boom. If you had a little recorder down there, when you see starters, you would hear. So anyway, just lean forward. Lean, okay. This is probably, he's coming out, he's something like this. Second step, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, he's up running. That's how you get a drive phase. But you guys look for the shin angle. When he comes out that block, I want to make sure the knee is in front of the foot. And eventually, as he goes down the track, then you'll be up tall. But Sean made that mistake once we corrected that. All we did was switch his feet. Because again, he had both hands going back. I'm looking for boom. We switched the blocks. The rest was history. So it wasn't a great job of coaching. It was just seeing, because I videotaped, we said, wait a minute, did I just see what I thought I saw? And sure enough, I said, bring the camera over here. Went in and showed him, and Sean's a quick learner. And then what happened then, he got a lot of confidence. He started getting confidence, and that's another thing which we could talk about some other time, but that makes a big difference. Sean went on not only to win the conference, the ACC, which had some pretty good runners, in 100 and a 200. He set the American record. He beat Michael Johnson's American record indoors that sophomore year. He ran 20.26 on a 200-meter track to win a national championship. Coaches, you'll have somebody, and the people out there, you'll have somebody that comes out with the wrong foot, or they'll throw both arms back. So make that adjustment. You should be happy if you draw an outside lane. The fastest lane on the track is lane 8. And coaches, as you're looking, look how tight lane 1 is compared to lane 8. Which one do you think you'd run faster at? Of course, it's lane 8. So 8's the fastest, 7's next, right on down. Lane 1 is the slowest. We usually would practice in lanes 4, 5, or 6 because after the first round, they seed you, okay? They give you preferred lanes, and usually you're somewhere in the middle. So we'd practice there because we assume we would be getting there after trials. If we drew lane 1 or 2 in the first round, like I practiced in, let's say I practiced in 5. If I did lane 3, I would cut 1 step off my number 2 leg and my number 4 leg because they're not going to be coming in as fast. If I went to lane 1, I'd cut 2 steps. On the same token, if I went out in lane 7, I'd add a step So instead of giving him 24, I give him 25 because he's coming in a little faster. Again, another little thing that can make a difference. Now I mentioned to you, you should have at least 2.5 seconds. Well, we gained a tenth or two here by coming out in a straight line. We gained a tenth or two by, or maybe 2 or 3, by running on the inside. But you also, when you get a running start, people who are fairly fast, you get about 7/10 of a second. So you got 3 exchanges, so 7/10, 7/10, 7/10. There's 2.1 right there. We already got 2.5. Now if it's a slower team, that's for an NCAA guys who are running, 38, 39s. For women, it's a little bit more, it's probably 8/10. And for high school girls, it's probably at least a second. So that's another thing that you want to pay attention to. But lane 8 is your fastest lane on the track. We also had another young man named Sven Nylander. Sven, just missed medals. He ran 47.98, so he was, not bad, right?
Yeah.
47.98. We had trials his freshman year, and he barely made the finals. He was stuck out in lane 8. And everyone else is, they hate that. He was excited because he's 6'4", and his stride pattern now, instead of having to cut steps, he could just run. He ran 13 the whole way. He ended up winning NCAAs as a freshman. So because he was in the right lane. If he'd have been in lane 1, it would not have happened. So lane 8, if you get out there, you got to convince your athletes. Now, the same token, you can't say, "Oh, lane 1 is terrible." Psychologically, that's 3 videos in itself. And I think that's one of the reasons I've had a little bit of success is because we're good. And I got a question for you. We always, have you ever heard the track's 90% mental? Yeah, you've heard that. Okay, then my question, when next time that person tells you that, ask them if they practice 90% of their time on the mental aspect. And the answer is no. They practice very little on the mental. They do workouts and workouts and workouts. But track is a lot of parts right here. I've had some I don't want to say mediocre athletes, but good athletes who became great, or mediocre athletes who became good because they didn't know they weren't good. The mental aspect is so important. But spend a little bit more time on this part.